The craft fell from the sky like a silver teardrop, trailing smoke and fear. It crashed into the turbulent North Sea, swallowed by the waves. Inside, Princess Ilara of Xylos clutched her daughter, Lyra, to her chest. Their escape pod, a beacon of hope in a dying galaxy, had become their prison. Ilara, her silver hair plastered to her forehead, looked down at Lyra. The child's eyes, wide and blue like the moons of Xylos, reflected the flickering emergency lights. "Mama, are we home?" Lyra asked, her voice barely a whisper. Ilara swallowed, forcing a smile. "Not yet, little star," she whispered back, "but we will be safe soon." But even as she reassured her daughter, doubt gnawed at her heart. They were light years from Xylos, stranded on a planet they knew nothing about. They were alone. The storm raged for hours before finally subsiding. The waves crashed violently against the shore, and the wind howled like a beast unleashed. It was a night that seemed endless, a battle between the elements and the fragile human spirit. Ilara, weak and disoriented, managed to pry open the escape pod's hatch. Her hands trembled as she pushed against the metal, her body aching from the ordeal. She had survived, but the journey was far from over. The salty air hit her like a slap, the scent both foreign and familiar. It was a reminder of life, of the world she had once known. She took a deep breath, feeling the sting of the sea air in her lungs, and it gave her the strength to move forward. She pulled Lyra out onto the rocky shore, the cold sand biting at their feet. Each step was a struggle, the terrain unforgiving. But Ilara's determination was unwavering. She had to keep going, for both their sakes. Shivering, Ilara scanned their surroundings. The beach was desolate, the remnants of the storm still evident in the debris scattered around. She felt a pang of despair, but quickly pushed it aside. There had to be a way out. Through the pre-dawn mist, she saw it, a light, warm and inviting, emanating from a small cottage perched on the cliffs above. Hope surged through Ilara. It was a beacon in the darkness, a promise of safety and refuge. Gathering Lyra in her arms, she stumbled towards the light. Each step was a battle against exhaustion, but the glow from the cottage gave her the strength to continue. She whispered words of comfort to Lyra, promising that they were almost there. The fisherman, a burly man with a face weathered by the sea and kind eyes that held the depths of the ocean, found them at his doorstep. His presence was a stark contrast to the storm's fury, a symbol of the calm after the chaos. Two figures, ethereal and pale as moonlight, huddled against the biting wind. They were a sight to behold, fragile yet resilient, standing together against the elements. He took one look at the woman, her silver hair tangled with seaweed, her child clinging to her like a lifeline, and he knew they needed his help. Without a word, he ushered them inside, offering them the warmth and safety they so desperately needed. Lyra, her small hand tucked safely in Ilara's, stared in wonder at their surroundings. The fisherman's cottage, though small, was filled with warmth and the aroma of something delicious cooking on the hearth. She had never seen a fireplace before, the dancing flames both mesmerizing and a little bit frightening. But it was the fisherman, with his booming laugh and gentle hands, who fascinated her the most. He spoke in a language she didn't understand, yet his kindness transcended words. He fed them warm soup, thick and creamy, unlike anything she had ever tasted. He wrapped them in blankets that smelled of sunshine and salt, and when Lyra, overwhelmed by exhaustion and the strangeness of it all, finally succumbed to sleep, it was the sound of the sea, echoing the rhythm of her own alien heartbeat, that lulled her into dreams. The fisherman, a man of few words but boundless compassion, took them in without question. He understood with a knowing nod of his head that they were different. He didn't pry into their origins, didn't bat an eyelid at their strange clothes or even stranger accents. He simply offered them shelter, food, and the quiet solace of his presence. Ilara, initially wary, found herself drawn to his quiet strength. She tried to explain their predicament, using a combination of gestures and the few Earth phrases she had picked up from the escape pod's rudimentary translator. He listened patiently, his brow furrowed in concentration, and though he didn't understand her words, he understood her fear, her desperation to protect her child. Days turned into weeks, the rhythm of the tides dictating their lives. Ilara, her initial anxieties soothed by the fisherman's unwavering kindness, found a strange sense of peace in their simple routine. She helped with the chores, her nimble fingers quickly learning to gut fish and mend nets. Lyra, her laughter echoing through the small cottage, thrived under the fisherman's care. He taught her the names of the seabirds, the different types of shells scattered along the shore, and the constellations that twinkled like celestial fireflies in the night sky. He built her a swing from driftwood and rope, pushing her high into the air as she shrieked with delight. For a while, the pain of their lost world, the fear of the unknown receded, replaced by the simple joys of their new reality. One night, as the full moon cast an ethereal glow over the churning sea, Ilara felt a familiar flutter in her stomach. It wasn't the fear that had plagued her since their arrival, nor the pang of homesickness that often gripped her heart. It was something else entirely, something new, something that whispered of life and hope and the enduring strength of her people. She confided in the fisherman, her words stumbling over themselves as she tried to explain the impossible. He listened, his gaze steady and reassuring as she spoke of the child she carried, a child conceived under the twin suns of Xylos, a child destined to be born under the watchful gaze of Earth's moon. He didn't question, didn't judge. He simply nodded, his hand reaching out to gently rest on hers, a silent promise of protection and support. The news of Ilara's pregnancy spread through the small coastal village like the tide, met with a mixture of curiosity and acceptance. The villagers, who had seen many seasons come and go, were intrigued by the arrival of new life in their midst. It was a rare event that brought a sense of excitement and anticipation to their otherwise routine lives. The villagers, a hardy and welcoming bunch, rallied around them, offering well wishes, hand-me-down baby clothes, and steaming bowls of their local delicacies. They shared stories of their own children and grandchildren, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and wisdom. The sense of community was palpable as everyone contributed in their own way to support Ilara and her growing family. Lyra, now fluent in the local dialect, became their translator, her childish voice bridging the gap between two worlds. She took on this role with a sense of pride and responsibility, knowing that her words could bring understanding and connection. Her ability to communicate effectively made her an essential part of the village's social fabric. She explained to the curious villagers that her little sibling would have skin like stardust and eyes that shimmered like galaxies. Her vivid descriptions painted a picture of a child who was both extraordinary and deeply loved. The villagers listened intently, their imaginations sparked by Lyra's enchanting tales. She regaled them with tales of Xylos, of soaring crystal cities and talking forests. Her stories met with wide-eyed wonder. The villagers, who had never ventured far from their coastal home, were captivated by the idea of such fantastical places. Lyra's stories provided a glimpse into a world beyond their own, filled with magic and possibility. Life, though uncertain, was good. The village thrived on its sense of unity and shared purpose. Each day brought new challenges, but also new joys and moments of peace. The rhythm of village life, with its simple pleasures and strong bonds, created a sense of stability and contentment. They were no longer just survivors, clinging to the wreckage of their past. They had found a new sense of belonging and purpose. The future, once filled with uncertainty, now held the promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities. They were becoming a family, bound together by love, loss, and the promise of a future yet to be written. The bonds they formed were strong, forged through shared experiences and mutual support. Together they faced the unknown with hope and determination, ready to create a new constellation of their own. The baby, a boy they named Orion, arrived on a night when the sea raged and the wind howled like a banshee. He was born with a shock of silver hair like his mother and eyes that held the depth and mystery of the cosmos. The fisherman, his rough hands surprisingly gentle, held the newborn close, a sense of wonder washing over him. He had lived a simple life, ruled by the tides and the seasons, but now cradled in his arms was something extraordinary. A child born of stars, a testament to the boundless possibilities of the universe. Orion's arrival marked a turning point. Ilara, her heart overflowing with gratitude, knew they could never truly go home. Xylos was gone, but here on this small blue planet they had found something precious. They had found sanctuary. They had found family. Years later, the laughter of three children echoed through the small cottage by the sea. The sound was a symphony of joy, a melody that danced on the ocean breeze and mingled with the rhythmic crashing of the waves. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the worries of the world melted away with each passing tide. Lyra, Orion, and their younger sister, a little girl with eyes like the sea, and a laugh that could charm the stars themselves, were a testament to the enduring power of love and hope. Their bond was unbreakable, forged in the fires of shared dreams and whispered secrets under the starlit sky. Each day was an adventure, a new chapter in their story, written with the ink of laughter and the brushstrokes of joy. They were a family, bound together not by blood, but by something far stronger, the shared experience of survival, the unwavering support of a community, and the enduring belief in a future where anything was possible. Their lives were intertwined with those around them, creating a tapestry of connections that was as beautiful as it was resilient. The community by the sea was their anchor, their safe harbor in the stormy seas of life. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of orange, pink, and violet, Elara wrapped her arms around her children, her heart full. The colors of the sunset painted their faces with a warm glow, a reflection of the love that bound them together. In that moment, everything felt perfect, as if the universe itself was smiling down on them, blessing their union with its celestial light. The stars, those silent witnesses to their journey, twinkled above them, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights hope could be found in the most unexpected of places. Each star was a beacon, a tiny light in the vast expanse of the universe, symbolizing the countless possibilities that lay ahead. They were not alone. The cosmos was their guide, their silent companion on this journey of life. The future stretched before them, vast and unknown. But together they would face it, their hearts filled with the rhythm of the waves, the warmth of the sun, and the enduring love of a family forged under the watchful gaze of the stars. With each step they took, they carried the lessons of the past and the dreams of tomorrow, ready to embrace whatever came their way. The horizon was not an end, but a beginning, a promise of new adventures and endless possibilities.